Hello and welcome to the sewing studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these cushions, and these cushions are made for people that have had breast surgery. So this is a post-op cushion, and the idea of it is it rests under your arm to keep your arm away from the area that you've had your surgery. And this is a charity that's really dear to my heart, and recently the quilt group that I belong to had a whole day where 20 ladies all sat just making these cushions, and I think we made in excess of them for a local charity. So today I'm just going to show you how you make them. So you're going to need about a ½ metre of pretty fabric, and you're going to need some soft stuffing. So I've used this polyester cushion stuffing, and the first thing I did was I made a heart to go inside. Now this one I've made with an envelope back so it can be washed. I've also put a little pocket on it, and I've put a little lavender bag, which is lovely, inside the pocket. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to make this inside heart, and all you're going to do is draw around a heart, and you're going to have 2 pieces of fabric. You're going to put your stuffing in, and you're going to close the gap. So the heart pattern that I've got, where is it, is one that a friend gave to me. Now this one measures 16 inches from the point here to the tallest point there, and this one measures approximately 15 inches across. So the best way to make a heart template is to fold a piece of paper in half, and then you can just draw very simply a shape like this and come down, and then you would cut that out. So this is probably fractionally smaller than my one, so you're going to need to probably have 2 pieces of paper put together, but I'm just trying to give you the idea of how to make your own heart template. So there we are. That's roughly the shape that you want. Bit smaller than the one I'm using, but that doesn't matter. You can make it a little bit smaller if you wanted to. And the other thing you're going to need to do is make a second one, because we need these pieces here of our envelope. So we need to cut a piece off here and here. So we've got our top part and our bottom part. So I'll just show you with mine. So that's the heart that I used. That's the top bit. And somewhere I've got the bottom bit. Not quite sure where I've put it now. So I found it. So that's the bottom bit. So you've made your heart and you've cut it again, but you've kind of got this overlap, because you need this overlap here for your cover. I've cut out the bottom bit, and I've already hemmed it, and I've actually cut out the heart, and I'm using a fabric called Tulip Tango, which I thought was absolutely gorgeous because it's pink and it's got these lovely tulips. And then I noticed what it's got on the selvage edge, which I just love, these words on a selvage. It says, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And I thought that was so lovely, particularly for this project. So I'm just going to show you how to cut out the top bit here, which is the top of the back. So I fold it in half, and then I'm going to fold my fabric in half so that I know that I'm going to get an even shape. So I'm just going to pop that on the fold. So I've folded the paper, I've folded the fabric. I'm going to pop a couple of pins in there, and then I'm going to cut that out. So there's the top bit. So I've already hemmed this bit here. So I've already hemmed that. So I'm just going over to the iron and I'm going to press this under, and then I'm going over to the machine and I'm going to sew the hem. So you can see here that I've just created another hem on our envelope back. Now, if you want to make a little pocket, as I've done here, so you could pop a lavender bag in there, or it's perfect for putting a tissue or something like that in there. So if you want to create a pocket, now is the time to do it. So I've just cut a square of fabric and I've just hemmed along the top. I'm going to put that on the bottom bit here, and I'm just going to put some pins in. I don't want it too near the envelope, so I'm just going to come up fractionally. I'm going to pin it on, and then I'm going over to the machine and I'm going to sew down 3 sides. So down the side, along the bottom and up there. Just make sure I've got it roughly in the middle. I probably should have done that first, lined it up a bit better. So just doing a little lock-in stitch backwards and forwards just to reinforce the top of the pocket. So we've now got our 2 back pieces. We've got the bottom one with a little pocket, and we've got the top one all neatly hemmed. So we're going to take the front piece of our cushion now, and we're going to assemble this just as you would assemble any other cushion where you've got an envelope back. So I'm going to lay these down, and depending whether you want your pocket tucked underneath or whether you want this piece at the top, as I've done here, depends where you lay this piece. So if you want it on the outside, when you're making your envelope, it has to be on the inside. So I'm putting that on first. You can see it's fractionally bigger, and that's because we moved the template, but I'm going to trim all that off afterwards. So I'm going to pop some pins in. And then I'm going to pin the top one. I'm just going to turn that round to make my life a little bit easier. I'll pop a pin there. And I'm just going to give that a little trim to make it all the same size. And now I'm going back to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew all the way round. I haven't got to leave a gap this time because I've got my gap here for turning through. So I'm just going over to the sewing machine to sew it. So before we turn this through the right way, I'm just going to make a little snip at the end here, careful not to cut my stitch in. I'm going to make a little snip in the centre, and I'm just going to do some little snips around the curve so that we get a nice curve to our heart. And then we're going to turn it through, keeping our fingers crossed that I've got it the right way round. And there we have our heart cushion cover. Now you would go and give it a nice good press, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the inside out of this one and pop it in this one, and just show you how that works. So when I said at the beginning of the video about making a heart pillow, literally I just used some calico, drew round the heart shape that I had for the front, popped my stuffing in, and then I just machined the gap closed. So I'm now going to pop this one inside here. I actually think I like this one better, this lovely tulip tango pink. And there we are. All this one needs now is, if you want to make a little lavender bag to go in there, you can do that, and that's just a little square filled with some lavender, and I'll just put a little bit of trim over it corner to corner so that can tuck in there. So that's how you make one of those hearts for people that have had breast surgery. So have a look in your stash or pop down to the shop and see what pretty fabrics you can find, and have a go at making these lovely hearts. And it's a great cause because then you can donate them to the charities. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time here in the sewing studio.